YouTube, are you ready for this? Envious people. This is your guide on how to like master identifying envious people and like figuring out who's envious of you, because this is like probably the most important video you will watch on this topic. I'm unfortunately someone who experienced way too much envy from other people onto me, and like I'm gonna give you guys a rundown how to spot envious people, what to do in scenarios, and why it's important to have a small circle. Like I feel like no one's talking about that. So like first off, get a pen and paper right now. Write this down. You need to write this down. You need to know that 2 to 4 friends is better than being friends with a large group of people, maybe 10 to 20, and majority of them are jealous or envious of you. Like this is the truth. Like it's better to have a small circle of people than have a large circle of people. I literally printed notes out for you guys, so let's jump right in. Like I have disclaimers, I have things to talk about. Let's do this. First of all, like I hate being an accessible, kind and nice person. Like you should, for starters, not be accessible to people, because this doesn't work out in a world where people want to take advantage of you and they want to, you know, get as far in life as possible. So they'll use people in a disposable way, which is something that I feel like I've experienced, but I've come out on top because I think it's something that's so beautiful that when people also, it's like pouring raining. I hope you don't hear that. But when people are like evil, envious, and they dispose of you, and you still like lead with love and you're kind and you're loving to people and you still go far in life, it's the truth. Like I would never forget, there's one sweet girl, like I went to a conference in Europe and she came up to me and she was like, it's so nice to see nice people like making it far in life, people like you who are kind. And I was like so taken aback. Like that was the best like piece of advice, or not, excuse me, piece of like a compliment that I've received ever, because that was so nice for her to like see me. Like that's something that is so beautiful about life. People can see who you are and they can clock when you're an envious and jealous person. But I feel like as a person, sometimes you ignore red flags. So I'm going to explain to you guys how to identify jealous people, how to remove them, and I'm going to like give you story times on jealous people, and it gets crazy. But like I feel like it's harder to choose friends when you're in college, for example, or you're in high school, or like you're in a program, or you're like whatever age you are. It's very difficult to choose friends, if that makes sense. Like this is not an easy task, but as you get older, especially in college as well, or like after, if you, or if even if you don't go to college, like you don't have to be around certain people. Like yes, maybe you live in a small town and everybody knows everybody and they know your business, but at the same time, you don't actually have to like talk to people. You don't have to follow them. You don't have to be around them. Like it's hard to distance yourself, but ultimately, like you have to distance yourself. Pick up this pen and paper again. Write this down again so you get it through your head. Smaller groups of friends are better than having being known by everyone, being popular, and like knowing all of these people. Like I think that's something that's important. And I saw this TikTok. I think her name's Emma Chamberlain. I never watched her videos before, but she pops up on my FYP. Like she said something that was so beautiful. She was like, you know, you can be friendly, but you don't have to be friends with everyone. And I think that's something that is so important for people to remember. Like you don't actually have to be friends with everyone, but you can be friendly. Like being a friendly person is very important, and this is for people who are friendly, who are nice, who are accessible, and let's navigate it. For starters, I think there's people out there that will never admit your impact. They will never admit that they're jealous of you or envious of you. I have a story time later for you guys where someone has admitted, a few people have admitted that they've been jealous of me, but like these people won't admit that they're jealous. That is something that you need to know. Like what they'll do is they'll be rude. And this is something on ways to identify. So let's start this. How to identify when someone's envious or jealous of you. The first step is to figure out like how did they become your friend, right? So if someone wants to be your friend and the first thing they say to you, I'm so intimidated by you, you know, I thought you were so mean because you had like a resting like bee face, or you're so impressive, like I really want to talk to you more about your work or what you do, or like what you post on social media, how did you get involved in this, or how did you get involved in that. As soon as they say that, you have to run the other way. because a friendship built on the fact that their first impression of you was that they were intimidated by you, or they thought you were mean, even though like you don't even have a mean face, that was just your face. Like that is something that is so bad. And I feel like this has happened to me so much when people are when I think that they're wanting a genuine connection out of me, but in actuality they don't. They want to like find they want to kind of use me, either use me for connections that they think I have, or connections, or even like who I am as a person. Like I think it's something important that envious people are aware of who you are. You might not be confident, you might not feel like you are important, but envious people see who you are. They see how the room lights up when you walk in. And let's take 10 steps back. Write this down. You don't have to be like a model for people to be jealous of you. You don't have to look like Giselle or like a Victoria's Secret angel. That's not the truth. Like jealous people and envious people are jealous of anything. They could be jealous of your boyfriend, of your partner. They could be jealous of the fact that like your parents love you, or you live in a house, or that like you're smart, or like the friend groups you have. Like those things don't, it's like not always like materialistic things that they're jealous of. Like sometimes they're jealous of who you are as a person, and they see things in you that they know they don't have. So that's an important thing on like how to identify people and like how to stop being friends with envious people, is you have to have self-confidence. I'm gonna make another video on self-confidence because that's a whole nother thing. But like if you have self-confidence, you can really navigate this so much better, because you're really able to figure out like who's real and who's not, because you know your worth. You know that you're a good person. You know that you light up a room when you walk in. So you know like when people are like evil or towards you, that is not a reflection of you. Story time. This is the first story time I'm gonna give you guys. I had this girl when I was in college, and we were never friends. Like we never even spoke. Like I think we spoke like once, like in a high by basis. She would stare me down. I'm not lying, guys. Like she would stare me down. Anytime she saw me, she would like stare at me like, and I think envious and jealous people have this like facial expression where they're like, it's not anger, it's like a mixture between anger and disgust. Like when someone's jealous or envious of you, you can easily identify it and clock it because of the fact like how their face looks. Like when you're envious and jealous, like you carry it in your face. You don't look like a nice person. You like look like you carry so much hatred. And so this girl, I would slowly notice it, and it's so funny. Like I literally caught it on like my photos, like on, it was a live photo, and I was posing with friends. It was like a prom or whatever, and like she walks behind us, and in the live photo, I won't post it because obviously she didn't know who she is, but like in the live photo you can see the fact that like she's staring at me. And she would do this all the time at any like event, especially in our senior year. And it was so strange because I'm like, what did I do to this girl? So at first I was like reacting. I was like, oh my gosh, I did something to her. Like something's obviously wrong with me. But that's not the case. Like sometimes jealous people are, like I said, are just jealous of who you are as a person, even how you look, who you're dating, who you're friends with, how people talk about you. You can be jealous of anything. So look, step number 2. So the first thing is like pay attention to how people become your friends. That's important. But the second thing is like pay close attention to how they act around you. So if they're already your friend, right? You're in a friend group, say you're in a friend group of 5 people. This one girl named Amy is jealous of you. You can detect whether or not, like, you're like, does she have secret animosity? Is she jealous? Does she like me? Does she not like me? Trust your gut instinct. Like, if Amy keeps making jokes about you, she's like, why did you wear that outfit? Didn't you wear that outfit yesterday? All of these things. This is a sign of an envious and jealous, or a person who has secret animosity towards you. Because pay attention to how they make you feel. If they make you feel small, if they try to question you, if they try to make you the butt of every joke in your friend group, they don't like you. And you can either, if you like them, you can 1, talk to them about it, or 2, distance yourself. And I recommend distancing yourself. Like I always see videos where it's like, you know, I started posting on YouTube, or started posting on TikTok or Instagram, and people around me hated you. Like I hear these stories where it's like their friends hated them, or like their friends made fun of them for posting. And now that they have a large following, people are asking them how they did it. So you have to understand this, because as soon as you become successful, they come running back to you, because these people are not concerned about being your friend. They're concerned about using you, and like using you, they see you as a commodity, where it's like, let's see how much I can use this person, because I know she's accessible, I know she's kind, I know she's nice. Let's see how much I can use and essentially abuse this person, and take advantage of them, because I know I see something in them. And if you're already successful, or if you already have 10,000 followers or whatever, they're already going to come back to you. It's the truth. Like, never forget how people make you feel. It's hashtag the truth. I'm going to start saying that. Hashtag the truth. This is something I'm going to say on this channel now. Hashtag the truth. Because this is something that, like, you can never forget about envious people, especially if you make it far in life, which I know all of you will, because you're watching this video to avoid negative and, like, they're kind of like vampires, like energy suckers. You're going to be successful. This is the truth. You have to trust your gut and, like, really take advantage of what you offer, what God has given to you, because that is something that will change your life when you realize your talents and your success. And, like, people will obviously, as you're on your journey, I'm about to sneeze. My friend would say that's how true it is. Like, I sneeze because it's true. On your journey, like, when you first start your journey, people are going to make fun of you. They're going to, like, laugh at you. Oh my gosh, it's the truth. Wow. And then afterwards, as you become more and more successful, thousands of people follow you. They're gonna say they knew you. Hashtag the truth. So, like, I want to be honest with you. It's better to have a smaller amount of friend group than a bigger one, because envious friendships are, like, much worse, because they will throw you under the bus for anything. Like, any small thing you do, they will nitpick it. They'll make fun of you. They'll put you at the butt of the joke. And you're going to be left feeling like it's your fault. Like, this is something that I experienced, where it's like, so much of my friendships or connections that I had, where, you know, afterwards I realized the person was jealous of me, and I didn't realize it in the moment because I ignored, like, the red flag was in my face like this, and I'm like, la, la. Like, I'm not looking at the red flag when I should be. But I started to blame myself, where I'm like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have made myself so accessible. These are the truth though. Like, I shouldn't have made myself so accessible. I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that. Like, that is the truth. I shouldn't have done any of those things, but I did it. So I have no choice but to figure out how to be a person that protects my peace, protects my energy, and I don't give myself out to everyone. And I think this is hard, because I'm so willing to help people, and I know for people watching this, you're so willing to help people. You want to be friends with people who don't have friends, but you need to think, why doesn't this girl have any friends? Sometimes it's because they're such a beautiful person that they have a lot of jealous people and they can't have good friends, and they have to, like, cut people off. This is the truth. But sometimes for some people, it's because of their vibe. It's because that they're actually such a negative Nancy. They're so negative. They're an energy sucker. Like, you have to think. You have to really vibe check people. This is a hard thing to do. This is, like, step number 3 on how to avoid them. And these people is, like, vibe check them. You have to see, like, are you a good person? Are you not a good person? Are you making fun of people? Are you being, like, inspirational? Are you being are you motivating people? What are you doing? Like, try not to be friends with people like that. And I know that's difficult, especially with age, because it's like, oh, it's so fun. Like, you're very, like, it takes a lot to be mature, and that is something that you have to be. You have to try your best to be mature and, like, not give in to those things or those jokes. And again, it's hard because you need to be friends with people. You don't need to be friends with people who don't have friends, but, like, don't make yourself accessible, because that's how they get you. I'm telling you, I'm a person who answers my phone back immediately. I'm a person that is very accessible. If you call me and if I like you, I'll pick up, you know. But it's like, you shouldn't be that accessible to people, because these people will take advantage of you, and that's how they get you. Say it with me, hashtag the truth. Anyways, and the thing about envious people is that sometimes they don't notice that they're envious. They don't recognize or fathom why what they're doing to you is wrong. And that's something that's important. So it's not always that they're a bad person. I don't want to say that. And these people are not necessarily bad or evil people, and like inherently evil, but they do have issues that they need to personally work through, and it's not your responsibility to fix them. Like, tattoo that on your face, like, it's not your responsibility at all. But the truth is, like, some envious people, like, when they're making jokes about you or things like that, some people want to get a reaction out of you, but the good majority of people don't recognize that what they're doing is wrong and it is harmful towards you, because they just don't have that. They're not as mature as you. They're not a nice person. They weren't grown, like, brought around that. Like, I posted this thing on Instagram. I need to put it here. Maybe I'll put, like, a picture here or something. Boop. It's here. where I was basically like, you know, sometimes people think that because I'm friendly, I'm a fake person. Like, and that's such a strange thing to think, because you should be friendly. You should be a nice person. You should be kind, right? You should like speak like appropriately to people. You shouldn't be rude. If someone asks a question, you should answer it, you know, regardless of how you feel about them. Obviously, there's like nuance to that. But I was posting about it, and I was like, how blessed am I that everything I've ever known has come from love. And like, that is something that has changed my perspective, because a lot of people, many of their life experiences have not come from love. It's came from sadness, or, you know, depression, or things like that, or anger, or hatred, or it's the way they were raised, or the friends that they were around. Like, they don't really see the positive side or the light at the end of the tunnel because of their life experiences. So you really have to understand that. And to my first story time, it gets crazy. So I had a friend, and I can't get specific because I know like eventually one day she'll see this, but she's one of those people that does not realize that what she was doing is envious or jealous. And I can just tell because she was very fast paced. So we were together, like we were on the West Coast together, and we were ended up going to like this rooftop party. And for starters, we met years back, and like the first thing like that I knew was, I should have known it was a red flag. Now that I'm mature, I know this, is that she was like overly gushing over me, like saying I'm so cool, I'm so this, right? And then she actually admitted to being intimidated by me when we first met. So this is a sign. As soon as someone does that, they're not for you, because now years later you're sitting at a rooftop party with them, and I don't drink alcohol, so she was like drunk, I guess, or she's had a lot to drink, and we're having a conversation. I don't know how this comes up. I remember just imagine, it's like you see it in slow motion. She's sitting in front of me, we're having a conversation. She's like, you know, like everybody gets jealous of people, like I'm so jealous of you, Aaliyah. And I sit there and I'm like, oh, this is so awkward, because I don't think everybody gets jealous of people. Like, I don't think that's a normal thing to be jealous of a close friend. And I am kind of ashamed to admit that I still stayed friends with her, and then I never addressed it. So I'm sure she doesn't even remember saying it. And I sound delusional. I always sound delusional even messaging her or saying, I should have said it like the day after. But that's something that stood out to me, is the fact that like she literally admitted it to my face, waved the red flag in my face, and I was still like, yeah, I'll be nice and I'll still be your friend, because we were in such close proximity. Now I know I can't be friends or around this person. Like, she didn't never valued me. She would only message me when she saw I did something important. Like, I went to a few conferences around the world, she would message me like asking me for details. And then I was on the Forbes 30 under 30 list, so then she would message me like out of nowhere to see like what she could get out of me. So that's something that's so important, because it's like, jealous people are not there to support you through your hard times. They're only there to leash off of you during your good times. Wow. Hashtag the truth. Anyways, so another thing that I noticed specifically about like the other girl that I mentioned from college, I think I said her name was Amy. So this is actually the second story time. I'm not even keeping track. You guys are keeping track though, so thank you. So this girl that I mentioned, that the second story time where we were at the rooftop party, she would stare at me, and it would be like a mixture of like disgust and anger, like I said. And this is a facial like expression that you guys need to like pay attention to when you're making friends or when you're interacting with people, because it's a specific face. For me, I've learned to identify now because I've had many experiences, but it's like a look. It's like, you know, it's disgust, anger, and curiosity. That's what it is, because they're curious into how you got that far. They're like, how did she get that far and I did it? They want to know that. Like, how did you get that boyfriend? How do you have that lifestyle? How do you do this? How? They always ask those how questions, but it's confusion. Then they're disgusted with you. They're disgusted with you, but it's really disgust in themselves that they're not more like you, if that makes sense. They're disgusted in the fact that they don't have the friends that you have, that they don't have whatever they're jealous of you for. They're disgusted that they don't have it, and then they're angry that they don't have it. So it's like a very specific facial expression. I can't even do it because I'm gonna get wrinkles, and I'm like, I don't want that. But it's a very specific facial expression that these people have, where it's like they look at you and like those three feelings combine, and it's just a particular look of like staring you down and wanting to humble you. This is the truth about hashtag the truth about these people. They want to humble you, especially if you are already successful. So it's like different types of people you'll meet. You'll meet people like in the beginning of your journey, where it's like they're gonna make fun of you for posing, they're gonna make fun of you for trying. You'll meet people in like the middle of your journey where it's like you were already surpassed people at the beginning, and they're now really becoming jealous, and they want to humble you and drag you back down because they know your potential. They know that you went from here to here, so therefore that you can go from here all the way here, and you become very well known, very successful, whatever your goals are, you can do it. But they want to humble you so that you don't do it. But you guys need to be smart. Subscribe to this channel and let me give you tips, because it's hard. And I think that many people don't know this. It's like it's difficult to end friendships, because this girl I was talking about, like, she's so insane. Like, she followed all of my friends, and I think now she's kind of unfollowed majority of them. But she had, at one point when we became friends, after she said she was like gushing over me, she was intimidated by me, all these things, she followed all my friends. So like, it's hard when it's like your groups are integrated, or like you hang out with them often, or you're in close proximity to them. It's very difficult to do, because jealous people are also good at hiding that. Like, if they're friends with someone that they don't see as competition, they act completely different. So it's hard for you to express, you know, how you're feeling about someone being jealous of you, when other people may never experience that type of vibe from that person, because they're just not like that. They don't see that person as a threat. And when you have genuine friendships, like, and when you're a genuinely friendly person, people hate you. They hate friendly people. They hate ambitious people. They hate positive people. They hate pretty girls. They hate, like, they hate you. They will hate you for anything. Like, it doesn't have to be something specific. Like I said, it could be like boyfriend, your family dynamic, the car you own, the clothes you wear, you know, what people think of you, how people talk to you, how well you do in your sport. Like, these are things that people can hate you for, and it ranges, and you would never really know why someone doesn't like you, other than the fact that they're jealous of you, and you don't even know why they're jealous of you, because you're like, this is just a regular thing for me, but they're jealous of me. So it's also to know, like, if they know you're a good person and you've been nothing nice to them, they're going to call you fake. Story time number 3, numero 3. I had a friend, randomly she stopped talking to me, right? She always disregarded me. We're in a trio. She always disregarded me, right? This is like a rundown of it. Maybe I'll do like multiple story time. If you guys want in-depth story times, I have a lot of crazy ones, so I can give it to you. But I would always like get her postcards. Like, when I traveled, like when I went around the world, I would always bring a postcard back from her. I would always write to her. I was super sweet. And like, we had a good friendship, so I thought. So then she started talking to me. This is fine. Then I hear from another friend that she's like calling me fake. She's calling me her op, all of these things. And I wasn't even like hurt by it. I was more so like so confused as to how someone can go from being your friend, or what you think is your friend, to someone who thinks that you're fake and like you're op or something like that. Which, let's get this down, guys. Let's stop using the word op. If you are a nice, kind person and you make yourself accessible to people, you read your books, like you're good at school, you do your sports, whatever, you're a good person all around, you don't have time for ops. I have 0 ops. This is the truth. Hashtag the truth. I have no ops whatsoever, because I don't believe in that. Like, I'm not watching what other people are doing. I'm not preying on other people's downfall. I'm not focused on other people at all. Therefore, I can't have ops. And to be my op, you would have to be on my level. And I don't think anyone could do that. Like, even if you were on my level, I would never even see you as a threat. I would want to be your friend, and I would want for us to work together to like elevate each other and be good friends and like meet up with each other. That's something that I would want. But like, for these people who say, oh, you're my op, you're not on my level. So why would I be jealous of someone who's not on my level? And this is the truth about envious and jealous people. They know that where you're at is unattainable for them, because if it was attainable for them, they would have done that. Do not be a jealous and envious person. Jealous and envious people spend more time looking up at other people in disgust and anger and like confusion that face than they do focusing on themselves to bring themselves up. This is the truth. So if you don't want to be a jealous and envious and hater or any of those people, I'm going to make another video for that on like how to not be like that. But like, majority of the time is just being a good person and investing in yourself. Don't focus on what other people are doing. Focus on what you are doing. That's important. Like if you're like constantly making fun of people, constantly making jokes about people, constantly looking down on others, and you don't have your life together, forget it. Forget it. Just stop watching this YouTube video because it doesn't make sense. You need to focus on you. You need to like lock in on your life goals, and you won't have time to be envious or jealous. Like, you won't have time to watch someone's YouTube video and comment a hate comment. You won't have time to look at someone, stalk someone's feed even though you're not following them. You won't have time for that because they won't even be on your radar. You won't even be thinking about them because you're too busy focused on the good. And this is why I'm saying, like, just because you had a difficult upbringing or people were always jealous of you as when you were younger and you always had negative experiences, don't let those negative experiences like taint your view on life. It's very important. The only way like you can win or get revenge on the jealous people is that if you ignore it. Like, don't pay attention to it. Try your best to be positive. That is the most important thing, that in the face of hatred and anger and jealousy, negativity, all of those negative emotions, in the face of all of that, be a positive and kind person. Be positive, love yourself, love others, and protect your energy, but put yourself out there. I'm telling you, what you put out into the universe is what you get back. So if you put negativity out, that's what you'll get back. And I know it's so difficult for the girls out there. Like, for me, I have like so much more story times on people who have been jealous of me or evil to me and like all of these things. But for me, it's so important that although people treat me like that, I won't let them change my perspective. They win if they change your perspective on life. If you stop trusting people, if you stop letting people in. Like, yes, you should be more careful, but you shouldn't change who you are as a person. That's something that's important. And now we're getting to the disclaimers of this video. It's very important for you to be self-aware. You can't just like say people are jealous of you without understanding like if they're actually jealous or if it was just a friendship falling out. Like, not every friendship falling out has to do with envy and jealousy. Sometimes it does. Majority of the time, in my opinion, I think it does. But sometimes you could have been the bad person, or they could have just been the bad person, and it wasn't connected to envy or jealousy. But I think majority of the time it is. But that's why it's important for you to take this with a grain of salt and be self-aware, because you'll realize you'll become a better person if you're self-aware. I'm like disgustingly self-aware, which is kind of annoying that I like hyper focus on so many things. But like, just be self-aware of who you are as a person, the situation that happened. Be willing to apologize. That's the most important thing. Be willing to say sorry for what you've done, especially if you've done something wrong, and mean it. That's so important. And you also have to reflect and understand, like, you know, no matter how much people are jealous of you or hatred towards you, no matter how many times you go through this experience, that is not a reflection of your character. For so much of like my experiences, especially like late teens to now, I thought it was my fault. Like, and I really thought I was a bad person because I kept attracting these people. But sometimes when you're a people pleaser, when you're nice, when you're accessible, you continue to attract envious and jealous people. But it is really important to like filter through them and like make sure they don't get close to you. And I think that's something that I went through, especially in college, because there were so many instances, maybe like 7 I can think on the top of my head or more, where people either openly admitted to be jealous of me, stop being friends with me, or worse, where they unfollow you and they still watch your stories, or they try to talk to you in person. Like, that is something that is so disheartening. But it is important to know that, like, it's so crucial to know that even though people are doing that, that's not a reflection of you. You can have 100 haters and 100 people jealous of you, but that does not mean it's your fault. And that's a common misconception that people have. They think it's like delusion to things like this. It's not. Like, sometimes you're just accidentally attracting these people, and then you're not. You keep giving them the benefit of the doubt. Never give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Like, trust who they are when they say it to your face. If someone says something to your face or shows who they are as a character, you need to like nod and walk away, because that is something that is so important. You have to be more comfortable with being by yourself and being lonely than having a large group. This is the truth. What did I say in the beginning of this video that I know you didn't write down? 2 to 4 friends or a small friend group is better than being friends with a big group of people. You can be friendly with 20 people, but don't consider all 20 people to be your friend. You need to have levels and ranks. You need to have people who are your best friend, your close friend, your friends, your acquaintances, or higher by basis. You need to have those rankings, because then you will never go through difficult things that I've went through. And so I'm telling you this advice to help you, because it is difficult. And now on that note, on like unfollowing, like social media is very interesting because it's difficult to have friendships nowadays with social media, because now you have people who can really like stalk you and like just watch you and have access to you, especially if you're a public account. You can have people who do that and don't care about you at all, or like are just doing it to watch you because they're wanting to see the potential that you have. And if they see when you're about to like, sorry, when you're about to like blow up or like whatever, when they see that, they'll come back into your life pretending to be your friend. Hey, let's do dinner, let's do this, let's do that. Don't do it. And of course, it's hard in college. Like, it's so difficult if you go to small school. Even if you go to a big school, it's difficult because you have like you're just like, people just follow each other just to, for the hope of like, just for fun. Like, everyone just follows everyone, which is fine. Like, you should do that. You should be kind and like, you know, actually, you don't really have to do that. I changed my mind. You don't really have to follow anyone you don't want to. That's important. But I think it's interesting. Like, I have at least, I think it was maybe three times this happened where somebody unfollowed me, right? I saw that they unfollowed me and I'm like, why would they unfollow me if we were just talking friendly yesterday? They unfollow me and they continue to text me and continue to try to be my friend in person. So then now I'm like confused. I'm like, did they accidentally unfollow me or are they playing a game? And majority of these people are playing a game. Like, I had this one friend, I don't know, well, we were never friends, we were just classmates. Actually, I never considered her a friend. She wanted to kind of like, I didn't realize that our first interaction, she found me on LinkedIn and she was impressed by my work, which is very sweet. And I was down to talk. Like, this is the issue about being an accessible and open person, because she wanted to get, you know, more involved with different work when it comes to like maybe human rights and stuff like that. And that's something that's super important to me. I don't joke about that. Like, that's a very important like thing that I do that I don't think I'll bring up on this channel, because I don't really think it's necessary to bring up, but I really care deeply about that. And so we were having like brunch or whatever in college, and like it just felt like an interrogation. And this goes back to like, how did the friendship start? Like, are they intimidated by you, or are they like a fan? Like, it was just such a negative feeling, because it was like, I'm over here being so genuine and happy and jolly, and you're like trying to get something out of me, connections out of me. And I'm pretty sure I connected this girl to a few people. Fast forward, she ends up unfollowing me, which is fine. But I think that if you unfollow me on social media, then we shouldn't be friends in real life anymore. I think that's just strange, because I think an unfollow on social media means that you don't want to see me. You don't want me to see. Well, actually, she just unfollowed me. She didn't even remove me as a follower. But like, if you do the unfollow and remove as follower, which you should do, now I do that. Like, you don't want to see me, and then you don't want me to see what you post. That's fine, but that means that translates a lot of that translates to the real world. And of course, this is difficult because I think social media and human connection is something that's so new. So I wonder if there's going to be like studies on that in the future. But anyways, back to the story. So she does all of that. Then she invites me to her birthday party. She's asking me what hairstyle she should do for her birthday. Of course, I didn't respond to these text messages because I'm so confused. I'm like, there's no way that this girl will, one, become my friend because she wants to get something out of me, then unfollow me, and then continuously try to invite me. So I was super nervous about that. And I think it's something on a serious note, like jealous and envious people can take it to the next step and harm you. That's something that's very important. This does not happen 24/7 or like that like enough to every single person, but it doesn't happen often, where I always hear stories about either, you know, a child or a teenager or even adult was harmed by their friends. You hear stories of that all the time. And I know it sounds crazy to be so cautious of that, but you need to be cautious of that, because you never know what someone can do to you. They could try to destroy your image, they could physically harm you, they can mentally harm you. You don't know. And it's better to like just don't even like give them access to yourself, because it's better to do that than experience what other people have experienced with jealousy. And I would love to know, like, comment in the comment section if you've experienced anything insane with jealousy. Like, I think that's something that I really want to hear. It's like, how far have people gone? Like, you never know, and it's something that's so scary. And even now I'm like, getting choked up about it, because all of these people, like the fact that she unfollowed me and like didn't want to really be my friend in person, but still invited me to her birthday party, still like wanted to hang out. It's like, what would you have done? So that's very important to have social awareness. And then another thing with jealous and envious people, especially when they were your long-term friends and you didn't realize, you need to speak up when they've harmed you, and like don't protect their image. That's not your job. So I used to think that like it's so bad to like talk about people, or to be like, oh, like this person did this or that, you know what I mean? Because I was like, I would always be like, I'm not friends with Maya, for example, anymore, but I still think she's a good person. Like we just didn't work out. No, it's not that. Maya was actually a bad person. And this brings me to like my fourth or fifth story time. I don't know what number I'm on, and I hope you guys are still with me here, because this girl Maya, friends in college as well. College is a hard time with making friends, and I should have known this. But she had, and she was not black. She had ended up saying the N-word all the time, which I think is disappointing. So she would say the N-word. She did not like gay people, which was also like so confusing. It's like, why do you care what decisions people make, like with their sexuality or their love life? So she didn't like gay people. And besides the fact that those are two things that I didn't want to be friends with, like those are two like characteristics of someone that I would never be friends with. There's more. And of course, I was naive at this time, and I'm so sad that I continued to be friends with this girl. Eventually I cut it off, which I'm very proud of myself. But she would put us in a competition. Like I remember she would be like, you already have your career, Leah. Like I have to work hard. You don't have to work hard. Like you have things. Like she made it seem like I had things handed to me, which is not true. Everything I've ever had in life and will continue to earn, God willing, I've worked for myself. And I have a beautiful family, like who's loving and supporting, which I love and I appreciate. But many of the things I've worked for. So for her to say that, I was so taken aback. And she's obviously said more and done more evil things. And I'll make a full long story time explaining like this girl Maya, the girl Amy, all the other people that I described, and put it into actual detail and show you. Maybe I'll show you guys screenshots. I don't know. I might not, because I don't want to put that on the internet. We'll see. But anyway, so she done all these things. The first two were already insane. Like disliking black people over a certain religion, and then saying the N-word, and then disliking gay people. These are all things that were insane. But then eventually we stopped being friends, right? And she removed me as a follower. I was so stupid. I wasn't even going to unfollow her or not. She removed me as a follower, if that makes sense. So I couldn't see her account, but she was still following me. This is where it got strange, because I never had this. This is like an anomaly here, where I never had that experience where someone like removed me as a follower. I couldn't see their private account, but they could still see my public account. So this is interesting. It's like, you don't want me to see you, but you want to watch me, which is so strange. And after I found that out, I was like, this is so weird. So I just removed her as a follower. Of course, I'm a public account, so anyone can still see me. I'm pretty sure she's blocked. This is important to the story. So she is blocked on Instagram, because after that, she would continue watching my story. And I'm like, girl, like, why are you watching my story if you removed me as a follower on your Instagram account? You can do whatever you want. That's fine. But I do think it's strange that you removed me. I can't see your stuff, although I don't want to see your stuff. You removed me, but you then still watch me. This was where it got weird. And this is why I say it's an anomaly, because people don't normally do that. They usually unfollow you and then watch you, but she was still following me and watching me, and I couldn't access her stuff. Again, that's fine. Like, do what you want, but I'm not going to take that. So I ended up blocking her. And then, of course, all the awful things she said is like perfectly fine to block this girl. Never be ashamed of blocking someone, by the way. Anyways, so that happened 2 years ago. No, not 2 years ago. I'm sorry. On this timeline, she ended up messaging me in 2024. So we stopped being friends 2021. We knew each other from 2019 and 2021. 2021, December, we stopped being friends. So that's going into the new year, 2022. Between 2021 and 2024, we really never spoke. If we saw each other, she would always ask me what went wrong, all these things. Sometimes people are not inherently evil, like I said before, but it's like, why do you lack social awareness? You should never be friends with someone who lacks social awareness to the point that they're asking you what happened, what went wrong, stuff like that. It's like, you knew you said all of these things and you think I will still be your friend. You attack, like, you were very weird. You put us in a competition. I think she often like made jokes about my weight or my appearance. Like that's when I first started wearing contacts during that time. And she would be like, no, you look really ugly with contacts. Like I would rather you wear the glasses, like wear your glasses. And it was so strange to me because it was like, who are you to tell me how I look or how I don't look? And it was so strange. So between that time, we didn't speak, 2021, 2024. And she blocked on Instagram, don't forget. So then randomly I get a text message from her, which I thought I blocked her number and I didn't. And she's like, hey, like I saw you on LinkedIn. She didn't see me on LinkedIn. She searched me on LinkedIn. You can tell when people search you. Thank you, next. So she's already lying. So she's saying that she saw me on LinkedIn. She wants to be friends. But she's blocked. This whole time she knows we're not friends. She knows she's blocked. But she's never said sorry. She never said, hey, can we clear the air? Why am I blocked? Can we talk? If she said that, I would have potentially said, you know what? I didn't like what you said about certain groups of individuals and people. Maybe, perhaps. But she didn't say that. It was just like a complete disregard. So that's why I'm telling this story about jealous and envious people and just awful people in general. Like sometimes they're not willing to admit that they were wrong. Be willing to say sorry, admit that you're wrong, and do better in the future. That's something that is very important to me. And I actually look up to people. Not look up to people, but I value people who are willing to say that they were wrong and that they will do better. Anyways, so that friendship ended. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I never told a soul. For those couple of years, I only told like 2 people about the N-word situation, but not the rest. And which was so disappointing with me. Like because at the end of our friendship, she had said like, hey, can we just keep this between us? And so that was fine, and I kept it between us. I respected this girl's wishes like a moron, but that's okay. It's in the past. And then after she sent me that message, I think it was in 2024, I eventually ended up messaging our mutual friends, and I was like, hey, can we talk? Like, this person just, they knew that she made me uncomfortable. Like, I had spoken to some of them about it, because I stopped going to, like, large hangouts when she was around, and I was so anxious, always sad. Like, it was embarrassing. Anyways. I had messaged them and then finally gave them the rundown on like what happened. So it's very important, like speak up when someone is envious or jealous of you and they're a close friend and you've had so many instances where they've been negative. Of course, that was an extreme story where someone used like derogatory terms and really hated many groups of people that I would never stand by. But when somebody does that, speak up. You need to like speak up and tell people and like say, you know, this person harmed me in this way. You don't have to do it in a way to like let everybody know. That's like, you don't have to do that, you know, but you need to tell all of your friends like ASAP, so they know why you're not friends with that person anymore, and they know it wasn't just a small incident. It was actually something huge that caused you to stop being their friend. That's something that's very important. And then on that note, I want to go to another point. Be very careful and like identify when people are using you and move on. And this is something that's very important. I mentioned before that I was on the Forbes list, which was such an honor. And I've been on many podcasts like for friends as like a favor. Obviously, I don't have like a big social media following yet. So me being on it is not like that insane. It's not going to bring in a tremendous amount of like views for their podcast or their video, whatever they're doing. But I do it to be nice. Like if somebody asks me, like I'm gonna be on their podcast, I'm gonna, you know, allow them to interview me because they can use that like in the future or even now. So that's something that I've always done. And I'm gonna take a step back from doing that because let me tell you the story time. This girl reaches out to me and she's like, hey, can you be on my podcast? Of course. I'm on the podcast. It's going well. Like I'm very sweet. Like she kept following up because I had a crazy schedule at that time and I, you know, was apologetic. I'm like, I'm so sorry. Let's make this work. We put a date down maybe a month or 2 months in the future in advance because I was like, if I put this date down now, I'm going to be able to do it. And I got you. Like I'm going to be on your podcast because you asked. So I'm on the podcast. I was super sweet. I was very thankful, although I should have maybe not been. I don't know. And as soon as like, I don't even think the episode came out. I don't remember. Actually, it did come out because I remember getting tagged on Instagram. So that it comes out. Then like maybe a week later, I get unfollowed on Instagram. Do you know how deranged that is? That someone was on your podcast that like you had asked them to be on your podcast. That's fine. And then you end up like just randomly unfollowing them on Instagram, it feels so disgusting and it feels like such a transaction. And that's why I'm like, you have to also be careful. You have to identify when people are jealous. And don't think that because someone is older than you that they can't be envious or jealous of you. Just because someone, if you're a girl, if they're a boy, if they're older than you, if they're your parent, like it doesn't matter who these people are. Like many people, although they're older in age, does not mean that they're wise and have maturity. This is the truth. I've had many older people be jealous of me, and it's so disappointing because it's like at your age, you should know better and you should be excited that somebody young is like wanting to do things in their life or wanting to be ambitious. You should be happy about that. So don't just think it's just older people that's jealous of you. It's not. It's like so many different people, different age ranges. It could be men, women, it doesn't matter. It could be younger, older. People will be jealous of you. And it also doesn't matter about your race. Like people of any race will be jealous towards you. And I think that's important for me to mention because, you know, you think that, oh, someone's in my race. They look like they look like me. They're the same skin complexion there or whatever the case may be. You think they're not jealous of you because of that. They don't care. It doesn't matter how you look, how you present, what race you are with your ethnicity. They will be jealous towards you. And it's even, I think it's harder when it's like people that you know or like people that you think because, oh, they're this race. You shouldn't even think like that. But like you think that because they're this race, because they're a woman, because they're so similar to you that they'll be supportive and like loving towards you. It's not gonna work. Say with me, hashtag the truth. Like this is just how people are. So older and younger can be jealous of you. And I want to leave you guys off with advice. If you got this far, I adore you. Smash the subscribe button, smash the like button, comment so I can engage. This is my first YouTube video, so we'll see if I continue to do long videos. If I do shorter, I don't know. But you have to understand that these people who are jealous of you, I gave you so many different story time. I gave you story times from friends from college, outside of college, people who are older than me, like many different story times. And unfortunately, I have so much more. I've even had like a professor who was jealous of me, who didn't admit it, but like she kind of said it. She was like, you know, you've done so many things that like people at my age, even myself, haven't have done. Like people like, and it was like put in a certain way where she didn't explicitly say she was jealous, but like she was hinting at it. Anyways, to leave off with advice is like they see something in you that you may not see in yourself. Like I said before with the journey, right? Like if you got or you started at the journey, you're here. Or maybe you're starting at the journey and people making fun of you, or you're here and people are jealous of you, or you're anywhere in between, or you're going here. It doesn't matter. Like somewhere in there, somewhere in that entire timeline of your life or in of your specific journey with whatever goal you're trying to accomplish, they see your full potential. They see your success. So you as a person, if you have multiple stories of people being jealous of you for whatever reason, you need to lock in and unlock your full potential because that's something that's so important. They're watching because they want to take advantage of you when you become successful. They want to prevent you, they want to prevent you from being successful. These are the reasons that they're doing what they're doing. They want to get close to you and then use you and then drop you. That's what they'll do. Or they'll try to humble you. They'll try to say that you shouldn't do that. Or you shouldn't be like this. You shouldn't be like that. Oh, no. Like, you shouldn't think that you're so pretty. You think that your outfit is so nice. Like, why are you wearing that outfit? Oh, you think you're so smart that you can do XYZ. Oh, you think that you're so loved because your boyfriend got you these flowers. Like, these are what these people will say and do. And you need to clock it. Be aware. Nod your head. And move on. Like you just need to nod and walk away because these are exactly what people who are jealous of you would do. And you need to focus on and unlock your full potential. And I think something that's so important to protect yourself is to forgive. Never forget all of these stories. You think I can't think about them 24/7 or I would never get anything done. I actually decided to make this YouTube video because I was thinking about it so much and I was getting so distressed. I'm like, is it me? Am I the problem? Like the Taylor Swift song, like, am I the problem? Am I like awful to attract this? Did I deserve that? Obviously not. No, the answer is always no. You didn't do anything to deserve that. But you have to understand, like you have to forgive these people because they are coming from, you have to, when you see envious and jealous people, you have to see them as people who don't know better. They didn't experience much in life to tell them that they can do more besides being a hater. This is the truth. So you need to forgive them, and you need to say, this is your life. That's on you. But this is my life, and I'm not going to allow hatred and envy and jealous to consume me. Do not be a hater. Like, and I understand, like, you have to understand that, like, it's a personal issue that they have to work on. It is not like something on you. Never forget that. Never forget that. Never forget that, like, when someone's envious or jealous of you, like, you can't give into it. Don't even acknowledge it. Walk away, end the friendship, and focus on you. Every time another person is jealous and envious of you and you clock it, turn that into drive to be more successful, be more confident. Give them a reason to be jealous of you. When I feel like people are jealous of me for basic things, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to lock in and I'm going to give you a reason to be jealous of me. I'm going to give you a reasonable reason to be jealous of me now because you were jealous of me for no reason before. So never forget how they treated you and threw you to the side and took advantage of your kindness and was so rude to you. They made jokes. They made fun of you for dressing nice. All of the things that they've done. Never forget that, because it should drive you to become the best person that you can be. And this especially goes for shy people, which I didn't mention much about the differences between shy and being more confident. I actually was a very shy person, like growing up as a child and in my teenage years. And then I locked in and I was like, you know, people treat shy people like garbage. They do. If you're shy or if you're a giving person, they will chew you up and like just like vomit you out. They won't even spit you out. It's like vomit everywhere. They'll disregard you like nothing if you're shy. So you need to be careful and protect yourself and know, like, every single time, think of it as a formula, like clockwork, like a chain reaction or like a factory machine. When one person is jealous of you, you're putting in time for yourself. You're becoming more successful. You're becoming more confident, and you're locking in. Because if somebody's jealous of you, they have a reason to be jealous of you. Like, this is the truth. Like, whatever they're jealous of you for doesn't even matter. Just hone in on who you are as a person and become better and better. And I want to tell people, like, the last thing I will say, you're not going crazy. Like, it was such a beautiful moment. I was describing one of the stories that I like said today, like obviously more in depth, and to one of my friends, and we were driving around. We were like, I don't know, states away. Where I was in her state, so we were driving, in her neighborhood, and I was telling her the story, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I feel like I deserve this. Like I feel like maybe I did something wrong. Maybe like I was just giving into self-pity. Like I was pitying myself and I was making excuses up for other people. And she's driving and she like pauses and she doesn't say anything, but she's like, you know, it's not your fault. And I like just took that in, because she also brought up the fact that like another friend of ours went through something similar where she had a jealous person, or not, I don't know if I would describe it as a jealous friendship falling out, but she just had a friendship falling out where the person was extremely mean. And she was like, do you think that like our friend deserved that? And I'm like, of course not. She's such a sweet person. Like she doesn't deserve that. So she's like, why don't, like, essentially what she was saying is like, why don't you use that same mentality towards yourself? And that's something I want, the parting advice I want to leave for you guys. Like, use that same mentality for you, because it's something that is so, so important. Like, understand that you're not crazy. When you acknowledge the things that people are doing, the way they're looking at you in like disgust and confusion and anger, that face that I was talking about, the way they're looking at you, you know, the way they're acting around you or versus around others, the way they're making jokes about you, the way they're stalking you on social media, never like your posts, but always knows what you're up to. Pay attention to that, because you're not crazy. Trust your intuition, trust your gut, and like just avoid envious people in general. Never lose who you are as a person. Always be kind, always be loving, always be nice. But really make sure that you understand that it's not your fault. You're not crazy. And if somebody's jealous of you, give them a reason to be jealous of you.